Okay guys, today we're doing a top and bottom fullering tool. Now, I'm starting the shot off with this. I've already done a little bit of work. I kind of played around with this and figured out the best way for me to drill this. What this is 2 pieces of 1/4 inch plate. The 1/4 inch plate was cut at 2.5 inches wide, and this piece is 4 inches wide. Just had it cut on a bandsaw so I get nice good flat cuts, or nice good flat jaws here. This is the jaw. Now what I've done is I've drilled a 1/2 inch hole and a 3/8 inch hole on the seam line. Now to do this, I kind of tack welded the, both ends back here, there, and there, on the underside of it, to actually leave a little tit hanging down that will depress into the wood that this block is sitting on. You can see the wooden block here on top of my drill table. Then I came back with C-clamps and clamped from underneath this way in about equal spots. That way I can drill straight down. If you turn it 90 degrees and try to do it that way, this piece, whichever piece is to the left hand side of your drill press, will want to rock it forward, and it's kind of a pest. I had also set some nails, just some small nails, on each edge here on the edge of each piece to kind of lock this in place as well. But then I just came in, found my hole, drilled it, came over, found my hole, drilled it. Now I'm just going to stop with those 2 holes. I'm not going to put any more in. You could put extra holes in there if you wanted to, but with the way that we're going to finish the job, you really won't need to. But that's the basic idea you get here with the guillotine, or the top and bottom fullering tool. The guillotine tool is another name I've heard it referred to. What this tool will do very sharply is this. You guys can see that step. Now normally you'd have to have a lathe to do this piece. But if you fuller it properly, you'll come up with this. So you can see that this would have been done on a 3/8 hole. I mean, obviously the drill bit's in the way a little bit, but you guys get the idea of how this works. Now after you've drilled it, like I just did here, you're going to take round files and just break the edges here a little bit. Not much, just a little bit. You don't want to be too sharp there, because if you crack it down too sharp, it can cause a cold shunt, and you don't want that. So we're going to have to go down this whole jaw length here and kind of dress it up a little bit. But before we do that, we're actually going to have to make a mark, and I'll show you how to do that here in just a second. Okay guys, now this is just the top jaw, the 2.5 inch wide piece, and I do recommend the same widths. Now the overall length of this was 12 inches. If you can come up with a 12 inch piece, great. If you can't, oh well, don't worry about it. Now keep in mind, my jaw is this face here. Okay, this is my jaw. And this is before I'm going to dress it up or anything. I'm going to take my little handy dandy speed square and I'm going to mark a line on the steel. Whoop! Went flying right out of my hand. Now what this line is for is the actual hole for my hinge plate will go about here. This, once this is cut off, is to allow this plate some movement to walk through, because these jaws need to come fairly close together. This will allow you the clearance you'll need for that. Now once you do this, you'll also want to take it to a sander and kind of grind that off. Now if you just want to grind this all off, feel free. But it's 1/4 inch plate, you're going to be at your grinder a while, and you're going to go through a couple belts or a stone doing it. It's pretty stout stuff. So my recommendation would be, if you've got a drill press, pop a bunch of holes along this line. That's why you want to scribe it good and deep. You pop as many small holes in this as you can, and then just come back with a Sawzall or whatever and just rip it. Or you can even take a cold cut chisel and just chisel that off, and then grind it smooth, so you don't have any burrs to catch on. So let's get to it. Okay guys, so here we are. I got my holes all lined up. A little dust on the camera there. But that'll let you know kind of what I'm talking about. So now you can come back with a cold cut chisel and kind of knock that out. Set it up in a vise and just smack the heck out of it with a good heavy hammer. You can take your Sawzall now and cut, and at least your Sawzall will have guides now to help you make that cut a little better. Okay guys, now that these are those 2-inch wide pieces of 1/8 inch bar strap. They don't have to be real heavy, just heavy enough to kind of hold all this together. So what we're going to do is, we're going to come in at 1/4 of an inch, which will be right there, and we're going to come in 1/4 of an inch up top. You can measure it once, always measure it a second time. There. Now, as soon as I find my handy dandy square, which I can't seem to locate at the moment, we'll just mark these off. Whoop. Use a straight edge, dummy. There, like that. Now, when I've got that marked, I'm going to take one piece of this, and I've already checked these against the jaws to make sure that they are long enough. I cut them off at 6.5 inches, so if I've got 4.5 and 2, then that means I've got them set correctly. So just eyeballing over for square, because these don't have to be perfectly square or anything. We're going to put a mark like that. Now I can take this piece, set it out of my way, take these two, set them up wherever I want to drill. See, now I've got a nice mark there. I'm going to put 2 holes at with a 1/4 inch drill bit. And I'm going to come down just about however, it doesn't have to be perfect, just about the center line. Put a mark, come down again, put a mark. I'm leaving about 1 inch of material, 1.25 inches or so here between the drill holes. Now you can take this, line up your 2 pieces, clamp them down to your board, and drill through. So you're drilling through both pieces at once. So we'll get those marked, and I'll come back and show you the next part.